Hey there, folks. This is Javier here, coming to you live. Today is Thursday, September 3rd, 2020 at 1:24 a.m. How are you all doing? I'm making a video today, just because I had with this on my mind. I wanted to discuss what the CDC is doing and what their talk about, vaccinations are and all that. Before I get started with this video, I wanted to make very clear my personal opinion on vaccinations. And that is that I do not believe that vaccines should be forced on people. I do not believe that vaccines should be mandated and made and required for all people. I believe that getting a vaccine should be somebody's freedom of choice. That's my opinion. The reason I believe that is because, if you look at Bible, well, let's backtrack there. The reason I believe that is because, I support freedom. I strongly believe in freedom of choice. And if you do look at Bible prophecy, that in the end times, I'm not saying this is it, but in the end times, that's exactly how the mark of the beast is going to be implemented. The Antichrist is going to force people to take the mark of the beast and all that. And anybody who doesn't comply is going to get their head cut off or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying that that's it. So with that being said, with my own personal opinion being out there, I wanted to get started on the point of this video. And the point of this video is, to talk about what the CDC is doing and what their plans are. So I have two articles here that I found interesting, and one of them is more news than article because this is news, that I keep seeing all over. So I'm going to get started here with this one. The CDC asked states to plan for potential vaccine distribution starting in late October. With that being said, I'm going to start reading it now. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has asked states to prepare to distribute a potential coronavirus vaccine as soon as late October, according to a series of planning documents sent to public health officials last week. So they're saying that they're going to have this thing ready by late October. Let's keep reading. A CDC spokesman confirmed the authenticity of this document in an email to NPR on Wednesday. The documents were first published by the New York Times. CDC Director Robert Redfield also sent a letter asking governors to fact-track permits and licenses, so state governors, so that vaccine distribution sites can be up and running by November 1st. November 1st. That's interesting. So essentially what they're saying is they want vaccine distribution. The way they plan it is so vaccine distribution sites for the coronavirus can be up and running by November 1st. November 1st. Interesting. So let's break it down here. There's this virus called the coronavirus, COVID-19, gained a lot of popularity in the news this past year. Nobody, 1 year ago today, and even less than a year ago today, nobody knew about this virus from Adam. Yet, now they're saying that they're going to have this vaccine ready by November 1st. That's interesting and a little bit fast. Secondly, so they're going to start distributing this vaccine November 1st. Secondly, November 1st, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here, that's going to be 2 days before the election. Interesting stuff. And with that being said, I wanted to get into a little bit, just to tell a little story here. I talked to a lot of people. People think I'm closed-minded. I'm not. I'm very open-minded. I've talked to liberals, Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, and, people on the right and left and moderate, all that. I like to learn from people, all right? And that's just what I like to do. So I was out a couple, about 2 weeks ago, out there getting a breath of fresh air. It was a nighttime, a warm summer night, a nice summer night, So I went to this hotel where, one of my favorite restaurants used to be before it permanently shut down after the COVID-19 pandemic started. The hotel itself reopened in August, but the restaurant remained shut down. So I started a conversation with the security guard there, who's, by the way, who is a conservative. And, like I said, that I'm very open-minded, so I love to listen to people. And he was saying, yeah, all this coronavirus stuff, it's all going to go away after the election. It's all going to go away after the election. Oh, Baker, he's a liberal. Baker is a liberal. But it's all, of course, he's going to do, all this stuff about vaccinations and all that, Yeah, Baker's a liberal. This is all going to go away after the election. It's all a ploy to, overthrow Donald Trump or whatever. So that's what the guy was saying. So interesting stuff, on that same note, he says that, he would vote for whoever, if they put money in my pocket, I'm going to vote for them. That plain and simple. Donald Trump put money in my pocket, so I voted for him. And then he started telling me these stories. Oh, Hillary Clinton, she stayed at this hotel. She's nasty. And, Bernie Sanders also stayed at this hotel. He's actually a personal man, he's actually an approachable person. I can talk to him. So he's drawing the comparison between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. He's met both of them. Hillary Clinton's nasty, according to him, personality-wise. Bernie Sanders is approachable and easy to talk to. According to him, Joe Biden's a nice guy. Kamala Harris is, kind of crazy. And, he supported Donald Trump, voted for Donald Trump, and, he believes it's all going to go away after the election. It's all a ploy to take him down and all that. Relatively conservative guy. He says he would have voted for Bernie Sanders, and he says that, it was taken from him twice. So interesting stuff from him. But anyway, I guess the point of sharing that story was that he believes that all this is going to go away after the election, and lo and behold, we're reading this article here that says that November 1st, it's all going to go away. Continuing the article, the request November 1st, 2 days before the election, all going to go away. And now they're saying that they're going to have vaccine sites up and running by November 1st. Interesting coincidence, not being a conspiracy theorist, but I'm just throwing that out there. The request as well, 3 planning documents are the latest indication that the race for the vaccine may be picking up speed. In other words, the race for the vaccine, the guy I talked to, the conservative security guard I talked to over at the Hilton Hotel out in Back Bay, he says that Russia already has a vaccine. They're just not, that's not being shared by the media, but Russia already has a vaccine. That's what they're saying. So they're talking about the race for the vaccine here, maybe picking up speed. Months into the pandemic, the U.S. has recorded more than 6 million coronavirus cases and 185,000 deaths from COVID-19, increasing constantly. 185,000 deaths. I personally have the authority to question that, but, it's I'm not going to, if that is true, it's I'm never going to, speak ill. I'm never going to, what's the word? I'm never going to, speak ill of that. But, it's just, I just have a hard time believing that in 185,000 deaths from this virus alone personally, especially if it keeps going up every day, by the thousands. Something doesn't add up here. But I'm just, I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to, offend people or, or speak ill or come across as offensive to people who did die of this virus. And anyway, the federal government has long aimed to have a COVID-19 vaccine ready by January 2021. And an establishment in an initiative that calls operation to warp speed the accelerated process of developing, manufacturing, and distributing an effective vaccine that takes place up to several years. Different vaccines are currently on phase 3 trial in the U.S., so people are trying them out. These so-called coronavirus vaccines, in which the vaccine is given to thousands of people to test its safety and efficiency. Public health officials have offered a different prediction as far as when the first vaccine will be ready for distribution, which most was hoping early next year. So over here they're saying early next year, but then we just saw they just said November 1st. Dr. Anthony Fauci, Institute Vaccines said in July to be cautiously optimistic a vaccine will be ready at the end of the year. Phase 3 trials have begun, according to Dr. Paul Alfit. Development testing underway. At this time, we don't know which vaccines will be approved. However, limited COVID-19 doses may be available in early November. He said, okay, so now we're getting the picture here. He's saying that limited COVID-19 doses may be available in early November. Okay, so that's less than 2 months away. COVID-19 vaccine supply will increase substantially in 2021. So they plan to, limited doses of the vaccine in early November, late October, whatever. And then they want to increase that, beginning in 2021. CDC outlined several hypotheses for the rollout of two unnamed vaccines starting in October, either individually or simultaneously. That's the word. How many doses will be available each month? They're going to be distributed. Estimates vaccine A about 2 million doses. Vaccine B at 1 million by late October. Good Lord. At an exponentially, and with amounts increasing exponentially over November and December. So they're going to start increasing the doses of the vaccine between November and December. A document checklist, COVID-19. So we get the point here. They're going to start slow in November. They're going to start, getting states ready to distribute this vaccine in November. And as they continue, they're going to start speeding up the vaccination process in November, December, January. They're going to think as if they really have it ready. I have serious doubts. This was so fast. So, this is going to be shared with the governors, and the governors are going to act accordingly on this, I hope. I'm not sure what role the national election is going to play on this. I cannot support, one who's going to mandate vaccines nationwide, even though I don't believe that's really possible. I think that's unconstitutional. Okay, let me backtrack. I know about the 1905 case. But anyway, okay, so, but I know that what happened in Massachusetts recently, and this is my second article I'm going to share, and this is the state I'm in, by the way. August 20th, 2020, which was just a few weeks back, they're saying that Massachusetts mandates flu vaccine for all students, with exceptions. So, Massachusetts this week meaning back in August, mandated that all students aged 6 and up and older receive a flu vaccine this year, in what public health officials called an important step to reduce flu-related illnesses, and overall impact the respiratory illness during the COVID-19 pandemic. The requirement applies to all children 6 months of age and older, so these are babies we're talking about, who are attending child care, preschool, kindergarten, and the base day, as well as K through 12, and those who are enrolled in various colleges and universities, including many international students. Good Lord. It's more important ever to get the flu vaccine because the flu symptoms are similar to COVID-19, and preventing the flu will save lives and preserve healthcare. So August 20th of 2020, Massachusetts mandated, I don't know why they waited this long to do it, but we just did it in this state. They mandated flu vaccines for all students with few exceptions. And obviously, I think that's going to apply to the coronavirus vaccine, which nobody knows really anything about. So there you have it, folks. I don't know, depending on which state you live in or where this is going to be, we already know that other countries are probably more strict than we are because, we have individual states' rights. We have, the right to opt out. We have all these liberties, and it's a blessing to have all these liberties that all these many other countries don't have. So once they're going to mandate a vaccine, they're going to make everybody take it. And we can't have that in this country, in my opinion. We can't require everyone. Obviously, that's going to be left to the states. Like, for example, Massachusetts is now mandating flu vaccines, and I truly believe it's just a matter of time before that applies to the coronavirus vaccine as well. It's going to be very interesting, but I guess a little bit of, extra talking points to pull out of this is that, this is going to be a state-by-state thing. These vaccines are going to be available in all 50 states. 1 year ago today, nobody knew about this disease from Adam. And now they're claiming, normally it takes years to develop a vaccine for a disease, like, for example, with smallpox, malaria, all these diseases of the past, measles, mumps, tetanus, all this stuff. It took a long time to develop these vaccines, years. We're talking years and years and years. And they got this thing ready in less than a year, which is something that, in my opinion, something doesn't make sense here. But anyway, folks, I also wanted to share, before I closed, I wanted to share another story. I also got into this conversation with this other guy the other day from Provincetown. I was on a ferry coming back from Provincetown, Massachusetts. Great place, by the way. I had a great time. He referenced something to me, which was interesting because he says that he claims to know that they are. I'm not saying that this is true. This is what he said, not me. But he claims to know that they are putting microchips in vaccines and that people who are getting it are regretting it. I'm just telling you what he said. I'm not the one saying it. I have no evidence for this whatsoever. But I'm not, obviously, at the end of the day, if a vaccine is a good thing, I'm not saying, like, if this is going to be like other vaccines in history, which ended smallpox, which ended malaria, which ended the West Nile virus, all these tetanus and measles and mumps and all these horrible diseases of the past, and it's going to get us back to normal, then that's good. But if this is something different, then we, probably should be, vigilant because there's a lot of suspicion. But I'm not trying to get into all this conspiracy and all that. He did reference to me something, this book called The Pale Horse. Let me see. And then he told me to look up page, I don't have the book with me. I probably have to check it out in the library. He told me to look up page, I think, either 44 or 444, something like that. And he said that there's considering this book was written a long time ago, not a long time, but like early 1900s, that there's a direct reference from today, for today. In this page, that, like, if you read this page, I think it's 44 or 444, something like that. You read this page, and it's going to directly reference what's happening today. This is written a while back. So that's interesting to me. I've had a lot of great conversations with people, and I met a lot of awesome people. I just love to get to know people, and I love to hear people's perspectives and all that. And with that being said, folks, I think I enjoyed doing this video, and I hope that that this is not. I hope that things are going to get back to normal. I hope that we're not going to have to wear these masks anymore in a matter of time. I hope that I'm just hoping for the best. That if something if the vaccine if there is a positive vaccine like ones in history that will eradicate the coronavirus and get things back to normal, that would be wonderful. I'm hoping for the best, but I'm also continuing to use discernment and staying vigilant, and I advise you to all do that as well. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I appreciate you, anybody who watched this. This is Javier here, and I'm tuning out, and I will be back. I enjoyed doing this video. I'll talk to you all later. Take care.